Welcome to a deep dive. Today, we're diving into the really powerful connection between how you feel about yourself, your self-worth, and your success in the world, especially how you handle money and navigate life challenges.
It's a fascinating area, isn't it? Because it links your internal state directly to your external results, often in, well, quite surprising ways.
Absolutely. And we're pulling insights from a fantastic stack of sources for this deep dive specifically. Excerpts from an audiobook that gives a very personal and candid look at self-worth, emotions, and wealth.
hmm Our mission really is to unpack these ideas, reveal some unexpected connections, and give you clear, actionable takeaways you can, immediately apply in your own life.
Think of this as getting a shortcut to some potent wisdom on living with integrity, mastering your feelings, and understanding the flow of value and wealth in your life.
Okay.
Well, let's unpack this. Where do we even start with something this fundamental?
Well, the sources suggest starting with the absolute bedrock, building your inner citadel.
Inner citadel. Okay.
Yeah, it's described as your personal code of conduct.
Right, and they make it clear this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a set of non-negotiable standards, traits, qualities that make you feel genuinely good about yourself.
Exactly. It's positioned as your essential defensive wall. It protects your self-esteem, your confidence, your sense of worth, and it has to be deeply personal, anchored in your core values.
Yeah. The sources give some examples of what might be in someone's code. Things like acting consistently, sticking to your word, treating others with respect, knowing when to say no to things that violate your boundaries, and a big one, prioritizing your own priorities.
And just as vital is knowing what to leave out, what violates your code. Maybe it's unnecessary gossip or constant poor time management or letting your emotions completely hijack your decisions. It's about setting rules based on honest self-awareness.
Which, let's be honest, isn't always easy to live by perfectly.
No, definitely not.
The sources are very clear that you will slip up. Part of building and maintaining this citadel is forgiving yourself when you do, and be willing to adapt your code as you learn and grow.
There's a memorable principle they introduce here, too, the law of lesser pissers.
Okay, tell me more.
It's basically, if you're in a situation where you have to choose between annoying someone else or annoying yourself, you choose them.
Choose them.
Choose them. The logic. You are with yourself 24/7 for your entire life. Don't betray yourself just to avoid someone else's temporary displeasure.
Wow, that connects so directly to the absolute necessity of saying no. The sources highlight this as foundational for self-respect and maintaining those boundaries.
Totally. Saying yes too often, according to these sources, has this kind of cascading negative effect. You feel overwhelmed, frustrated.
Right.
You start acting out of obligation. You end up letting people down anyway because you're overcommitted. The quality of your effort drops. You build resentment, and you neglect your own crucial tasks and well-being. It's a whole mess.
And think about this. You are teaching the world how to treat you by what you accept and what you reject. People learn fast.
Oh, absolutely. If you're the person who always bails them out, they will rely on you for that.
So why do we do it? Why do we say yes when we desperately want to say no?
Well, the sources delve into that. It could be wanting validation, like needing to be seen as helpful, or feeling rejection, worrying about missing out.
Yeah, FOMO.
Exactly.
Right.
Or even procrastinating on our own difficult work by doing easier things for others. Sometimes it's seeking those secondary gains, like feeling like a martyr or, getting our sense of worth from external approval.
The key takeaway here isn't to become like a hermit who says no to everything, though.
No. It's about finding balance. Serve yourself and others equally. The source author talks about scheduling time specifically for helping others, kind of ring fencing that time.
Okay.
So that when requests come in outside that block, you feel less guilt saying no.
That's practical, and there are other tactics too, right?
Yeah, practical ways. Delaying with a not now, referring the person to someone else better suited, using a gatekeeper, like an assistant if you have one, or suggesting they schedule their request for your dedicated helping time. It's about consciously retraining the world how to interact with you and value your time.
So you're building that strong inner foundation, that personal code. But even with that, you still have to navigate the wild, often unpredictable landscape of emotions.
Exactly. Emotions are crucial internal feedback systems. They tell you what's going on inside. But man, they can also play significant tricks on you.
Tricks? How so?
Well, the sources frame mastering your emotions as a fundamental life skill. It impacts absolutely everything. Your business, relationships, finances, health, and yes, your self-worth.
A really critical distinction the sources make, and this really struck me, is that you are not your emotions.
That's huge.
They're temporary feelings you experience. They pass. Separating yourself from that immediate feeling is like the first step towards clarity and control.
hmm And the tricks they play. They can distort reality, making things seem much better or much worse than they actually are. They push you towards reactivity instead of, thoughtful action.
Okay.
They can make you unreasonably fearful or cause you to question your whole identity based on a fleeting feeling. They often drive impulsive short-term decisions you later regret, dredge up past baggage that has no place in the present.
Right, bringing old stuff into new situations.
Yeah, exactly. And they can deceive you into holding extreme one-sided views or even spill over to affect situations entirely unrelated to the original emotion.
That's why the advice is so strong.
Yeah.
Do not make important decisions when you're in the grip of a powerful emotion.
Definitely not. The author shares some vivid, relatable stories about everyday frustrations. Being stuck on a train with someone eating smelly food, or dealing with loud announcements, or overhearing intrusive phone calls.
Yeah, things that get under your skin.
Right. They aren't huge crises, but they powerfully illustrate how quickly immediate emotions flare up and that urge to react impulsively just takes hold.
So how do you manage that?
To manage these ways, the sources offer a simple three-step system. The Trippy A system.
AAA. Okay, first A.
First A, aware. Notice the emotion happening in real time. The key here is to create a slight separation. Think of splitting your mind into two parts. The part that feels the emotion and the part that observes the emotion without judgment. Just see it.
Just observe it. Okay, second A.
Second A, accept. This is acknowledging it is what it is. You can't change the past event that triggered it or the immediate reality. Stop wishing things were different.
Easier said than done sometimes.
No, for sure. But it's about looking for the objective facts beneath the emotion. Realizing that old emotional baggage doesn't belong here now. Understanding that while you can't control the event, you do have control over how you let it affect you going forward. Ask yourself, what am I meant to learn from this?
Okay, aware, accept, and the final A.
Final A act. This is where you find balance. Step back, look at the situation from an alternative perspective. Ask, what gifts does this difficult situation bring? Or what positive could come from this? Then, and only then, make a clear, proactive decision about the next steps based on facts and perspective, not just raw emotion.
Aware, accept, act. AAA.
They make sense.
The sources emphasize that practice is essential to make this system work faster and more naturally, and they point out that letting go, being willing to forgive, not being stubborn, and not taking things personally, these are powerful accelerators for emotional mastery.
There's also mention of that really frustrating human experience, the know better but still do it phenomenon.
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
You know the right thing, you have the info, but you make the same mistake anyway.
The sources are quite kind about this. It doesn't make you a failure, it just makes you human. Beating yourself up adds more negative emotion. The key is that the learning isn't lost. It goes into what they call your experience bank.
Experience bank. I like that. It's still valuable even if applying it consistently is, well, a work in progress.
So you focused inward, building the citadel, managing your emotional landscape. But you can't stop there, right? You have to take all that inner strength and turn it outward.
Exactly. That's where action and making an impact come in.
Knowing what to do is completely useless if you don't actually do it. The sources use a great analogy. Having the best shop window and the most skilled cashier doesn't matter if nobody comes through the door.
If you have value to offer but nobody sees it, you won't succeed. The author shares his own experience as an artist. When he wasn't selling paintings, his first thought was just to paint more.
Right, more output.
But the real problem wasn't his skill or the number of paintings. It was that his existing work wasn't being seen. He needed to get it out there, into galleries, connect with agents, put himself and his art out there, away from the comfort of his studio.
And that requires overcoming stuff like overthinking, fear of judgment, that persistent fear of not being good enough.
Oh, absolutely. The sources offer two simple, powerful questions to ask yourself. What's the worst that could happen? Which is usually not fatal or permanently damaging.
Hopefully not.
And what will happen if I don't put myself out there? Which is usually missed opportunities, regret, stagnation.
Yeah. A practical point they make is that once you put something out there, an idea, work, yourself, you can often revise it or even delete it later.
Yeah.
But you have to make that initial step first.
Accountability helps hugely here, whether it's a coach, a peer group, or just a public commitment.
If this feels daunting, the advice is to start small. Yeah.
Exactly. Put yourself out there in areas you know really well. Build confidence on that solid ground before trying to scale up. Your unique perspective, your specific blend of skills and experiences, that's valuable precisely because there's only one you. The message is clear. Don't play small.
Here's where it gets really interesting. One of the most powerful ways to channel that inner strength outward is by, like, transmuting negative emotions and pain into productive output that creates value for others.
Yes, it's presented as an incredible form of cathartic release.
The author talks about his own past tendency to bottle up intense negative emotions.
Which never ends well.
No, it would eventually lead to unhealthy explosions, damaging property or relationships.
So instead of that, you channel that raw energy outwards in a constructive way.
Exactly. Think about journaling, creating art, making music, writing a book, starting a podcast. The author explicitly calls his own content creation process therapy, turning his internal struggles into something helpful for others.
And that process isn't just about helping others. It powerfully reinforces your own self-worth. It feels good to be valuable. Transforming hardship into something positive is deeply rewarding.
The sources offer some incredibly inspiring examples of people who transformed immense hardship and pain into immense value and success. Figures like Oprah Winfrey, J.K. Rowling, Viktor Frankl.
Even Tom Cruise is mentioned. While you're not comparing yourself to reach, their level of fame, their stories illustrate the very real potential to transmute negative experiences into something powerful and positive.
As you navigate this journey, taking inner strength and making an outer impact, life presents some fundamental paradoxes. And a big one is around expectations.
Ah, yes, the expectation paradox.
It's that classic dilemma. Should you shoot for the moon, aim for huge goals, or should you manage expectations to avoid disappointment? Maybe even lower them to zero so anything feels like a bonus.
The sources argue that wisdom isn't found at either extreme. It's in the balance. It's not either, it's both hand.
Both hand. How?
You must accept what is and strive for more. You should set big goals and find ways to enjoy the journey. You can be deeply grateful for what you have despite things being hard.
So some balanced outlooks suggested are: expect nothing, but try for everything.
Right. Or work hard to make things happen and also know when to let things happen. Stay focused on your long-term goal and be fully present in the moment.
That's tricky. Social media often pushes these extreme one-sided views.
Exactly, which can be misleading. The sources suggest that true longevity, wisdom, resilience, it comes from navigating the constant movement between these polarized forces, like a seesaw that's always in motion, rarely finding perfect equilibrium.
What's fascinating here is the idea that our voids, our insecurities, our feelings of low self-worth, they are paradoxically powerful drivers of progress.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but they create that hunger, that impatience, that desire that makes us strive for more.
But the sources also say these voids are rarely filled permanently.
Right, they might shift or new ones emerge. The source gives relatable examples. Getting out of debt only to fall back into overspending, getting fit only to gain weight in a relationship, retiring only to feel bored. This continuous striving is presented as a fundamental part of being human and the engine behind much progress, citing figures like Musk, Jobs, Edison.
So the challenge is learning to manage this push and pull striving versus contentment, short-term versus long-term happiness, being enough versus wanting more in a way that leads to sustainable growth and genuine satisfaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, let's tie this all back to something very concrete and often challenging for people. Money.
Ah, yes, money.
A central, powerful theme woven throughout these sources is the direct link between your self-worth and your financial success.
They initially proposed the idea your worth equals your wealth, but then they refine it.
They do. They refine it to your self-worth multiplied by your net worth equals your net worth, which sounds a bit circular at first.
Yeah, a little bit.
But the core insight is that the more you value yourself, the more the world values you, and the more willing it is to invest in you, pay you, support you. Feeling worthy isn't just a nice feeling, it actively contributes to wealth.
And they define wealth broadly, too, not just money.
Right. Relationships, knowledge, health, and financial resources. And they make the point that converting that non-monetary wealth, your skills, your network, into cash is absolutely possible. Look at successful people in diverse niches. Artists, chefs, dog trainers. They also delve into how past negative emotional experiences around money, childhood lessons about scarcity, dealing with debt, awkward moments asking for money can create deeply ingrained habits and emotional blocks.
Blocks that stop you now, even if things are different.
Exactly. They prevent financial success in the present, even if your current reality is stable. Those old feelings hold you back. The powerful realization is that these blocks stem from past perceptions, not current reality. That understanding is key to changing them.
And money itself is just neutral.
The sources view it as a neutral tool, an exchange of value. It follows human actions and emotions. It doesn't judge. It only has the meaning we give it.
So many common money hangups come from these attached negative emotions and experiences.
Oh, yeah. Examples like staying in bad relationships out of financial fear, hoarding money with a scarcity mindset, accepting low pay because you don't feel worthy.
Emotional spending.
Emotional spending driven by those voids, mishandling inherited money, spending on others to try and buy love, believing wealth is zero-sum.
That's a big one. If I win, someone else loses.
Or being genuinely bad at receiving money or compliments or giving money away out of guilt.
So overcoming these hangups is an active process. Awareness first.
Starts with becoming aware, understanding their roots and past emotions, and then consciously changing the meaning you attach to money now.
A significant point the sources make is that money flows through people, your network.
Yes. The people you spend time with don't just influence you practically, they profoundly shape your behaviors and beliefs about money. Consciously choosing to spend time with successful, financially healthy people can elevate your own understanding, mindset, and opportunities. Your environment is a powerful shaper.
So we've gone from inner value and emotional mastery to putting yourself out there. Now, how does that all combine into creating outer tangible success, especially financially? This is where the formula comes in.
Exactly. The sources introduce a formula. Wealth, W, equals value, V, plus fair exchange, FE, leverage, L.
WV plus FEL. Okay, let's break that down. First, value V.
Right. This is the service, the product, the solution you provide to others as perceived by them. It's fundamentally about serving, solving problems, showing care. And here's the critical link back to everything we've discussed. This outward creation of value is directly powered by your inner feeling of value or worth.
So you can't really give value effectively if you don't feel valuable inside.
It's much harder. That inner sense of worth directly influences how you price your work, the confidence you have, the belief you deserve more. The sources talk about balancing living your own values, that internal feeling, and providing value to others. The author's training business is an example balancing feeling good, helping, selfish, and serving others, selfless, but noting it must be profitable to be sustainable.
Okay, so increasing your inner value regarding money involves things like working on those hangups.
Yeah. Revisiting past money issues, learning the principles of money as an exchange of value, practicing gratitude for money-even bills, and cultivating the mindset that wealth is your right. It also means valuing your entire life's experience in your pricing or salary expectations. And, like we said, spending time with people who elevate you.
Got it. Next element, fair exchange, FE.
Simple concept, complex execution. For wealth to be created, a transaction must occur. Buyer and seller, employer and employee. Both sides need to perceive they're getting equal value.
Like the author's story about selling his art too cheaply.
Perfect example. Undervaluing yourself and pricing too low doesn't automatically lead to more wealth. It can create scarcity, attract the wrong customers, repel those who'd pay more, and breed resentment in you even though the buyer paid the price you set. Your price needs to reflect your perceived value.
But charging unfairly high isn't good either.
No, that's unsustainable too. Damages reputation, sales collapse eventually. Think extreme examples like illegal gains, or even companies forced to change strategy due to complaints, like Ryanair.
So fair exchange is about finding that balance.
Exactly. Valuing yourself enough to charge fairly. This attracts better customers, allows reinvestment in quality, and creates a virtuous cycle of growth and contribution.
Okay, value, fair exchange. Finally, leverage.
Leverage. Achieving more with less personal effort, more money, time, impact. It's about using resources, systems, networks, the time and skills of others effectively.
So it's not just about working harder yourself.
Definitely not. The sources contrast the unleveraged person working solely for money, basically being leveraged for someone else, with those who use leverage to move towards their own vision and get money working for them.
And this is more accessible now.
Much more, thanks to technology, the internet, social media, AI, outsourcing, think virtual assistants, social media reach. building your own media presence, crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, leveraging information.
So in the formula, leverage is about speed and scale.
Yeah, increasing the speed and scale of your value exchange. Growing income and impact beyond just trading your time for money. Without leverage, your value might not even be visible.
The sources also mention 4 elements to turn passion into profit.
Right. Passion, the drive, profession, commercializing it, market, reaching clients, and profit, the necessary result for sustainability. Honoring all 4 lets you become, as they put it, an alchemist of money, turning inner value into outer wealth.
And underlying all this is the idea that you're probably worth more than you're getting.
That's a core assertion, not just wishful thinking, but because you have unique talents, skills, perspectives, value latent within you, waiting to be expressed and shared.
Things that seem easy to you might be valuable to others.
Exactly. Stuff that feels obvious to you is often difficult for others. Your entire life journey, the learning resilience experience builds that value and should factor into how you approach work, salary talks, pricing.
And it's a continuous process.
Always. Keep developing skills, deepen understanding, expand networks, continuously increase self-worth and, by extension, potential wealth. Remember that affirmation, I'm worth more.
So we've really covered a lot. We've journeyed through these sources, starting right at the core of who you are building your code, boundaries, managing emotions, and seeing how that inner state directly manifests in your actions, putting yourself out there, and ultimately your financial reality.
Yeah, the powerful insight is that self-worth isn't just a passive feeling, it's an active engine. It drives your capacity to create value, engage in fair exchange, and leverage your unique gifts.
And the connection between feeling worthy and building wealth isn't mystical. It's grounded in practical actions, dealing with emotional baggage around money and understanding value, exchange, and scale.
And the sources offer a compassionate view, too. It's not about perfection or never stumbling. It's about self-awareness, continuous learning, choosing who you spend time with, and finding healthy ways to process challenges.
You already possess immense value forged by your whole life. The invitation here is to recognize that worth, work through the blocks, and consciously apply that value to the world.
Absolutely. So, if we build on that central idea that your self-worth genuinely does multiply your potential net worth, here's maybe a thought to ponder. Considering everything we've discussed today, what single investment could you make in yourself right now that would be the most valuable?